Hey there, Michael Griffiths here, founder of Referral Marketing Guru, and welcome to this week's Get More Referrals Today podcast. Today I'm going to talk to you about networking in the survival brain and why so many people just don't network the right way. And networking is not just a matter of networking events. Networking is what you do on your social media platforms, how you communicate with people, how you interact with people, whether it's live, whether it's online, whether it's whatever planet you want to be on. It's still simply how do you deal with other human beings in a networking perspective. So before I dive into that, as always, make sure that if you love the episode, share it just with one other person. Think of one person in your network that this would really help and help them grow their business. Because as I've been saying for years, there's only one thing that really helps society, you making more of an impact. You being able to help your clients help them, and in the end, contribute to society and make it a better place. So if you can share this with one more person, that would be amazing. So let's dive into where we want to go today. And today's all about this survival brain, this cortex brain, and how to get out of it when you're networking. But just as importantly, why it is killing you, why it's shooting you in the foot. So take a step back and let's look at this. You know, if you've been around us, that we talk about this cortex brain, limbic brain. And we're all about how do you limbic your business from top to bottom. Every aspect of your business can be limbic. And when you do that, you activate these extraordinary moments throughout your business, because your business is exactly that. It's all of these little moments just being made up. So when you think about all the little moments that are just being made up, you think about, okay, how could I send this email better? How could I do this particular thing better? How could I communicate better? How could I make this phone call better? How do I fill my pipeline better? How do I onboard better? How do I nurture my prospects better? How do I make my systems better? They're all just little moments, just like networking is. And networking, whether it's a face-to-face networking event, whether it's an online networking event, or whether it's even just across your social media platforms, networking is just simply you being able to build relationships and have conversations with other people who are around you. That, in essence, is all networking is. And whether that's at a dinner or a lunch, an organized event, or just you're reaching out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's all exactly the same. So we've got these two brains. The limbic brain, it all controls all human behavior. It controls all decision making. It doesn't understand language. It's only feeling based. And then you've got the cortex brain. It understands every single word that's being said, and it's logical, and it's rational, and it's analytical. And everything that I'm saying, it's taking in, understanding the words, and then giving you a rational, logical thing for you to be able to do. The only problem with the cortex brain is it doesn't evoke emotions. It doesn't control human behavior. It doesn't help the other person make the decision you'd like them to make. The cortex brain was given to you to survive. That's why I call it your survival brain. And that's what you're in 95% of your day is your survival brain. So when you go to networking and you're in your survival brain, it's really hard for you to be doing the right things. So this is what tends to happen when people go to networking events in their survival brain. They go, oh, I need some sales. Let's go to a networking event. Or I need to find some partners. Let me go to a networking event. And their focus is on them. And as soon as your focus is on you, you can't be evoking positive emotions in others because you're in the wrong part of the brain. You're in the, it's about me part of the brain, the survival brain, the rational brain. You go, okay, if I turn up to the networking event and I find people to say hello to, and I get into conversations with them and I hand my business cards and we find ways, see how that's all process driven. It's rational, it's logical, you've analyzed it, you've come up with a plan. The only problem is it's the wrong part of the brain. And when it's in the wrong part of the brain, you're not going to evoke the positive emotions that you need to evoke to make the other person go, yeah, I really want to work with this person. I really want to find out more about this person. Or I really want to be able to help this person. See, I can generally be able to tell within 5 seconds of two people starting a conversation what's going to happen. I can hear probably not even the first sentence. I don't even need the whole sentence. And I can tell exactly what's going to happen. Because I can tell whether the person who is starting off the conversation is in their cortex brain or their limbic brain. And depending on what part of the brain they're in, I already know what the outcome's going to be. And that's a bit scary to know that here people are going along to networking events going, I've got a shot at this, I've got a chance at this, I might be able to get a few clients out of this, where in fact they've got no hope whatsoever before they even turn up. So let's look at people going to networking events in a cortex way. They're there to hand out business cards. They're there to find clients. They're there to go, what's in it for me? They're there to get into conversations and talk about business. They're there to work the room. Now, none of those things are a bad thing. So don't get me wrong. The whole idea of business is to be able to find new clients. So I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying when we do those things, and you might have seen before, we talk about these sort of 4 stages within people. And at the bottom stage, the red stage, is when they're transactional. And just above that is in the yellow stage where they're process driven. And then above that in the green stage, it's where they're leader driven. And at the very top, where we want to be able to turn people into that exponential, that magical, where you've got that enchanter mindset, that brain chemical approach, that heartfelt creation. So you can't do any of that if you're not in your limbic brain. So how do you just click your fingers and get in your limbic brain? Well, unfortunately, the sad part is you can't. You have to be able to start understanding the difference between the cortex and the limbic. You've got to be around an environment where you can see, oh, okay, I sent that, and I can see exactly why I shouldn't have sent that, and I should have done that. Oh, I turned up at a networking event and I said this. I can see why that was logical and boring and cortex survival brain mode. And in fact, I should have done it like this. I cringe every single day when I see messages that get sent to me on socials, even people who comment under posts. And I just go, oh, you're such in survival cortex brain. And the feeling that I get is just like, blur. That's not a feeling that makes someone want to do something with you, that gets excited to be around you, that becomes inspired by you. And unless those things take place subconsciously in their own mind, they're never going to buy from you. See, really, and this is why I harp on about this, and it's just so powerful, is that if you're in your cortex survival brain, moments after moments after moments in your business, you just don't have a hope. It's got nothing to do with your strategy or your tactic, or you simply won't have a hope because you don't know how to evoke brain chemicals in other people. You don't know how to make the other person go, I don't know what it was, but I really want to find out more about that person. I don't know what it was, but I really want to help that person. I don't know what it was, but I really think that this person could help me. None of those things come from a logical cortex brain. They all come from a limbic brain. So when we go out and you network, again, online, offline, on your social platforms, at an organized event, it doesn't matter. But when you actually go out and you start doing these things, the first thing you've got to say to yourself is, how can I evoke brain chemicals in other people? So you're the first person that always talks. Well, you should probably just simply be talking to ask a question and then shut up. When you get asked a question back, try to make it fun. Don't go into survival, logical, boring brain and bore them to death. Be fun, be passionate, be excitable, because that evokes feelings. So I'm not saying don't talk about what you do, but think about how you talk about what you do to evoke emotions in other people. Don't assume that they're interested. 99% of people don't care one bit what you do. They care more about who you are. They care more about, do we have a connection? Now, even these high D personality types, dot, point, get to the point, they don't feel a connection, and they can't verbally actually articulate this to you, by the way. But if they don't feel a connection with you, then they're not going to do anything with you. So don't think that, because they're a business owner, they're a CEO, they're the founder of something, so therefore they don't have much time, they want to get to it. Humans are all exactly the same. We are exactly hardwired the same. And whether we consciously know this or not, and honestly, majority of people don't actually even consciously know this, we all have a need for connection. We all have a need to feel safe. We all have a need for certainty. We all have a need to know that we're not going to get screwed over by the other person. So, knowing all of that, and you walk up at a networking event and you go, here's my card and I do blah, 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 blah. No wonder they're not interested. It's got nothing to do with your service. It's got everything to do with you. A majority of people that I look at, I cringe at how bad it is. And then I look at how they comment on socials. I can see why that's bad too. So I want to strip this all the way back just for a quick little bit here and get you thinking about, how do I do this differently? Well, the first big thing you've got to do is you've got to become more heartfelt. You can't go anywhere going, what's the outcome for me? What do I need out of this? Because that's why I'm going. Just about, I reckon, 99.5 out of 100 people, that half just not being anywhere near as bad as the other 99, turn up somewhere going, okay, if I speak to 10 people, I might be able to hand them my business cards 4 times, which might give me 1 phone call, and that might get me a client. Outcome focused. Okay, it's a process. You can't be heartfelt if you're in that part of the brain. You just can't be in both at the same time. So the first thing you've got to do is that you've got to just be, I'm turning up here, curious, going, I wonder how many amazing people I can meet. And if you use that language, you'll find amazing people. But if you don't think the people there are going to be amazing, why are you going? What's the point? I know why you're going, because you need a sale desperately, so that's why you're going. And straight away, you've already lost. That's why it's hard. You think how much business you've got from networking. It hasn't happened, and you should have got a lot, but it hasn't happened right there and then. It's happened when there's been a relationship established. It's happened over time. Now, that time might be a few weeks, it might be months, it could be even years later. But when you actually think about it, it's happened when a relationship has been established. So when you turn up to these, focus on just creating that. And the fastest way to be able to create that is to be able to get in and find out and be curious about the other person. Have fun with them. So whether you're doing this online, on social platforms, and you're sending messages on Instagram, like LinkedIn, Facebook, whether you're doing this online networking, whether you're doing this face-to-face networking, don't focus on, this is me, this is what I do. Focus on simply, how do I connect with you? How do I be curious about you? And how do I deepen our conversation and relationship? And if you focus on those 3 things, everything else will look after itself. You'll be in the right part of the brain. You'll be out of survival brain and you'll be into limbic brain, which will make you more heartfelt. That means you'll evoke more brain chemicals. And they won't know why, but they'll go, that was the best conversation. Out of all the conversations that I had that night, that was the best conversation. So therefore, they're now intrigued about you. They're going to want to find out more about you. And the brain chemicals that you created in them, they've got to come back to you to be able to get them again. So it's scary how powerful being limbic advantage focused is for your business, because you strategically influence other people. Now, there's no way we're going to ever teach this to people who aren't going to use it for good. But that's a power that we have. It's a power I want you to be able to utilize by understanding. Get into the limbic brain. Don't think about what's the process. Don't think about what's the outcome. Don't think about what's in it for me. Think about how am I going to make you feel? And when you start doing that, watch your connection in networking go to a whole different level. Okay, guys, hopefully it's been super helpful and why you can't be in survival brain when you're networking. Till next time, take care. If you need anything at all, if you've got any questions, if you want to just have a chat about your networking strategy, reach out. Shoot us an email on support@michaelgriffiths.com.au. Check us out, michaelgriffiths.com.au. The links are in the description below wherever you are either listening or watching. And if you want to just limbic the crap out of your business from top to bottom, which will ensure that you stand out about anyone in your market. I don't care what business you have. If you want to be the number one and stand out and have everyone else talking about you, that's what the limbic advantage does. Quadruples your referrals, it doubles the lifetime value of your client, and it turns every client you have into raving fans and ambassadors. That's what you want for your business, then make sure you reach out. Till next week, take care. I'll speak to you real soon. See you later, all.